Hey, welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all my eyeshadow palette collection. It's a lot of eyeshadow, but hey, you know, whatever. I'm going to separate these videos into two, and I'm going to do all of my eyeshadow palettes and then all of my Z palettes. So like, I'll have two separate videos because I feel like if I do them all together, it's going to be like an hour-long video. So if you would like to see the outrageously large amount of eyeshadow palettes that I own, then just please keep watching. Okay, the first one I have is the Too Faced Natural Eyes Neutral Eyeshadow Collection palette. So I bought this palette, I think, for my 16th birthday. I bought this Too Faced palette and the Chocolate Soleil bronzer that I also still have. I don't know if that's gross or whatever. I don't think powdered products go bad, so I still use them. But this retails for $36, and when I bought it, I used quite a lot of it. It has 7 shades total. There are 4 mattes. Wait. Math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I'm dumb. This palette has 9 shades. Where did I get 7? I don't know where I got 7. I need to go back to school. There are 4 mattes and 5 shimmery, glittery colors. It's a good palette if you are looking for just kind of like a really compact, small, I mean, it's like the size of my hand. I would recommend it, but there are more palettes that I would recommend over this, if that makes any sense. The next palette I have is the Tarte Showstopper Clay Palette, and it looks like this. It kind of has like a snake skin cover to it, I guess. So this palette, I actually don't know what it retails for because I got it as a birthday present. I haven't traveled much, but this is probably going to be a really good palette to travel with because it already has a bronzer, highlight, and blush, and eyeshadows. So that's like a bunch of things that you will already have in one palette. Honestly, I think I've only used this like 3 times. I don't grab it as often as I should. And this blush, I always forget this blush is in here. The times that I have used it, I've really enjoyed it. The next palette I have is limited edition. This is the Too Faced Christmas in New York Merry Macaroons Vanilla Scented Eyeshadow Palette. I'm pretty sure this palette retailed for $39. It came with this palette in like a really cute box, which I actually still have because I just think it's so cute. I don't want to toss it. It comes in this box like this that like folds open, and then there was a Better Than Sex mascara in there. And this palette I have only used once so far. I do have a tutorial using this, I'm pretty sure. I think I just used it for my classic holiday makeup look. I don't even remember. This one was exclusive to Ulta. I would buy it again probably next year for Christmas. They'll have another one. I'll probably buy it again. Okay, the next palette I have is the Urban Decay and Gwen Stefani palette. I don't even know the name of this. Magic's in the makeup, but I don't know. But I just love this packaging, like the polka dots and then this like metal label with her name on it and then the gold outline. I just think that's so bomb. It's back when it was actually sold in Sephora. I think it was exclusive to Sephora, and I didn't buy it when it was sold in Sephora. How many times am I gonna say Sephora? I actually bought this like a month ago at Nordstrom Rack, and it was $25, which originally this sold at Sephora for $60. Yeah, I've used it a couple times and it's phenomenal. All the mattes are amazing and the shimmers are really good as well. I don't even remember when this was launched in Sephora. I think like over a year ago, but I got it for money off and it's awesome. I love it. Okay, the next palette I have is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Self-Made eyeshadow palette. It looks like this. It has the mirror label and then this kind of like, it's not like canvas, but it's like some type of material. I don't know. But this palette I think I bought for $45. These shadows are incredibly like buttery. Like the shade Buttery is literally like butter. It's so soft and like powdery, but in the good sense. Not like chalky powdery, but just like really like pigmented, powdery, buttery. It's not a very practical eyeshadow palette, I guess. There's not like much you can do with it, I don't think. And I think when I first bought it, I played around with it a lot, but I haven't really touched it. I wouldn't suggest this palette. I mean, it was limited edition, so you can't get it anyways. It's an okay palette, but like I said, with most of these palettes, there are more that I would pick over this. Okay, the next palette I have is the Urban Decay Naked palette. Even if you don't wear makeup and you're just the girl, like if you're a normal teenage girl and you have one bottle of mascara, one eyeshadow palette, and one foundation and you're good to go. And even if you don't really know how to wear makeup necessarily, but you wear it on the daily basis, everyone and their mother owns this. Either the first one, second one, third one, Smoky, Naked Basics, or all. These are like the go-to higher end palettes for like people who aren't makeup gurus and crazy weirdo freaks with makeup spilling out of their drawers. These are like the palettes that people will go to. I got this maybe like 2 years ago. This is probably one of the most universal eyeshadow palettes. The only thing about this palette that I don't like is there are only 2 mattes, which are Naked and Buck. It makes me sad because I don't reach for this palette as much as I should because, like, I don't know, this was one of the first makeup products that I bought, and like this palette almost like started my love for makeup in a way. I would recommend this for beginners in makeup. By the way, if there are any palettes in this collection that y'all want to see like full, either like a tutorial using it or like swatches or first impressions or just like a review on the palette or whatever, please let me know and I'll do that for you. So the next eyeshadow palette, I'm not going to go in too deep because I just did a tutorial using it. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This palette is the bomb diggity. It smells like peaches, which is freaking, honestly, how do they do that? This palette is limited edition. It was launched in the summer, limited edition, and then they just brought it back in like November or December with a full collection too. So I got my hands on it. This retails for $49. So I've only used it once and it's awesome. So before this goes out of stock, it's limited edition and I would really get your hands on it. And this also has the tin kind of packaging. Okay, my next palette are the 3 Too Faced chocolate bars. Ugh, it's just like picking these up out of the drawer, just like this whiff of chocolate. But yeah, I just recently got these for Christmas. Too Faced had an amazing deal for like the holidays where you could buy these in a trio for just under $100. If you were to buy all these 3 by themselves, it would be $150. But there was a deal where basically you get one for free because the total was only $97 plus they had free shipping. So the first one is the original chocolate bar, which I haven't used yet. The second one is the semi-sweet chocolate bar, which I have used once and I loved it. I just used like peanut butter and truffle. It was just like a really quick eye look. I didn't really get too in depth with it. And the chocolate bonbons I haven't used yet. I've swatched some colors and they are beautiful. This is more of a cool toned palette. The next palette I have to share is also limited edition, but I am so freaking grateful I got my hands on it and I have a tutorial using this one. This is the Morphe and Kathleen Lights collab eyeshadow palette. This retailed for a whopping $15 on the Morphe website. The only negative thing I have about this palette is this black. It literally is like coal. Like it's super chalky and powdery and it's like, it's pigmented as heck. it's really like harsh. Like it's not soft at all. It's almost scratchy, just like rubbing my finger in it. Way to go, Morphe. Way to go, Kathleen Lights. Kathleen Lights is one of my freaking idols. A palette that I have had for quite a while. This is the Too Faced Stardust palette by Vegas Nay. This is an amazing palette, honestly. Maybe like one color out of here I would never use. This retailed for $45. This palette came with a deluxe size of the Better Than Sex mascara and a shadow insurance. Oh, and it came with a glitter. Nude Beam like glitter powder stuff, which is actually phenomenal. I wish I used this palette more than I do because it's an awesome palette, but I just don't reach for it. I'm gonna say that a lot about all my palettes, is that I don't reach for it, but I mean, I don't. This palette I think was also limited edition. I have a lot of limited edition palettes, wow. The next palette I have is the BH Cosmetics Carly Bible 14 color eyeshadow and highlighter palette. I bought this last Christmas, like right before last Christmas. And again, she, as in Carly, has like a bajillion and one tutorials of her using this palette. I think, honestly, I bought this palette just to support a YouTuber that I look up to. I don't know. Honestly, I don't wear eyeshadow that often. This pink highlighter I actually have used quite a lot, but like these highlighters I haven't even like barely touched. I've swatched, of course, but I don't put on my face because they're too dark for me. And this was $12.50 on BH Cosmetics. And this was limited edition too. Oh my god. Okay, this next palette is another BH Cosmetics palette. It is the Galaxy Chic 18 color baked eyeshadow palette. So the packaging is kind of like really like girly. Like I feel like this is something you would find in Claire's. The shadows literally look like planets. I think this palette was also like 15 or 17 or, I mean, BH Cosmetics is extremely affordable and I would really suggest this. There's no mattes, it's all shimmer because I think baked is always shimmer. Okay, my next eyeshadow palette is the Tartist Pro palette. This retails for $53. I think I've used it maybe like 2 or 3 times. I used it on my mom for her Christmas work party and it has 16 mattes and I'm pretty sure these are considered duochromes. This palette is freaking amazing. These mattes are amazing and I have a tutorial using this as well, I think. I don't even remember what tutorials I have and don't have. This is my ever beloved, I say that, but I've used it like twice, Morphe 35O palette. If you love just like warmy goodness eyeshadows, this palette is for you. This palette is so good. I love it. I have a video of a first impressions swatches and stuff that I will link below. And also any tutorials that I've used with these palettes, I'll also link those below if you would like to see them. And I bought this for $22.99. These 3 last eyeshadow palettes that I'm about to show y'all are my go-to everyday palettes, even though I literally just got these 2 for Christmas. Okay, so the first one is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour Palette. So this palette is all matte, but it's kind of made where like these 3 and this shade is like the neutral kind of shades. These 3 and this shade are the cool shades, and then these 3 and this shade are the warm, I guess, quads. Personally, I don't really go by that. When I wear eyeshadow, this is the palette that I go to for matte transitional shades. This retails for $46, I believe. And the 2 newest eyeshadow palettes in my collection are the Tartlet In Bloom palette from Tarte, and then the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I don't know if y'all saw that, but the brush just fell out and it scared the crap out of me. So these 2 palettes I got for Christmas this year. This is from my sister and this is from my best friend. One was $42 and one was $45, but I don't really know exactly which one was which. Since I got this a couple days after Christmas, I have been using it to do my eyeshadow every day. That's what I have on my eyes right now. This has 12 shades, 3 of which are shimmers and the rest are matte. This is just like the best everyday palette, and it's small and compact enough to where like you can travel with it pretty easily. It's not super thick. I would highly, highly recommend this one. And lastly, for my eyeshadow palette collection is the Modern Renaissance eyeshadow palette by Anastasia. I got this for Christmas, like I said, from my sister. If you, again, like warm, berry, orangey kind of colors, they're just so pretty. I actually used this for New Year's Eve after the No Mirror Makeup Challenge, and just the packaging is so pretty. It's like that kind of like the Naked palette, either suede or velvet, I don't know. So that concludes my eyeshadow palette collection. I hope you enjoyed watching. If there were any palettes that you saw that you want to see a tutorial using it, or swatches, or a review over the palette, please let me know, because I will totally do that for whoever asks. Next, I'm gonna film my Z palettes because I have quite the lot. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. That would mean so much to me, only if you want, of course. I will see you in my next video. Bye. Whatever. If I, it would like, ugh. See, this is why I don't wear lipstick, because these faces that I make, my bottom lip like folds over and I get lipstick on my chin. Got lipstick in my Valentino. Wah 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 wah. Also, no, I'm not gonna.